Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Madi B here. And today we're diving into a super important topic, the environment. We're talking about the biggest, baddest environmental issues facing our planet right now. Get ready to have your mind blown as we break down these complex problems and learn how we can make a difference. Let's do it. First up, we've got climate change, the big kahuna. This is the ultimate environmental challenge, guys. We're talking about our planet heating up faster than ever before, and it's causing some seriously crazy weather. Think massive hurricanes, scorching heat waves, and bone-chilling blizzards. We're seeing it all, and it's only getting more intense.
But why is this happening? Well, it's all about greenhouse gases, like carbon dioxide, that we're pumping into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat from the sun, kind of like a giant blanket around the Earth. And the more we burn fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, the worse it gets. The consequences of climate change are huge, from rising sea levels that threaten coastal cities to extreme weather events that disrupt lives and livelihoods. We're talking about food shortages, water scarcity, and mass displacement of people. This isn't some far-off problem, guys. This is happening right now.
But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. We can still turn things around. We need to transition to clean energy sources like solar and wind power, reduce our carbon footprint, and support policies that address climate change. It's going to take a massive global effort, but together, we can create a more sustainable future. This is our planet, guys, and we only get one. We need to act now and protect it for ourselves and for generations to come. Let's show the world what we can do when we work together. Next up, let's talk about pollution. This is a big one, guys, and it's everywhere. We're talking about air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, you name it, we're polluting it. Air pollution is a major problem, especially in big cities. All those cars, factories, and power plants release harmful gases and particles into the air we breathe. And guess what? It's seriously bad for our health. We're talking about respiratory problems, heart disease, even cancer. Not cool, right?
Then there's water pollution. We dump all sorts of nasty stuff into our rivers, lakes, and oceans, industrial waste, sewage, agricultural runoff, you name it. This contaminates our water sources, making it unsafe to drink and harming marine life. And let's not forget about soil pollution. Pesticides, herbicides, and chemical fertilizers all end up in our soil, contaminating our food and harming the delicate ecosystems that depend on healthy soil.
The good news is that we can fight back against pollution. We can reduce our reliance on cars by using public transportation, biking, or walking. We can support companies that are committed to sustainable practices. And we can make conscious choices in our daily lives to reduce our environmental impact. Remember, every little bit helps. Okay guys, let's talk about deforestation. We're losing our forests at an alarming rate, and that's a huge problem. Forests are like the lungs of our planet, absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. They're home to countless species of plants and animals, and they play a vital role in regulating our climate. But we're cutting them down at an unsustainable rate, mainly for agriculture, logging, and mining. And when we destroy forests, we're not just losing trees, we're losing entire ecosystems. Species are losing their habitats, biodiversity is declining, and our planet's ability to absorb carbon dioxide is diminished.
The Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of the planet, is being destroyed at an alarming rate. This is a global tragedy, not just for the incredible biodiversity that's being lost, but for the entire planet. We need to protect our forests, guys. We can support sustainable forestry practices, reduce our consumption of products that contribute to deforestation, and support organizations that are working to protect our forests. Every tree counts.
Chapter 4, Extinction, Gone Forever. Hold on tight because we're about to dive into a scary topic, extinction. We're talking about species disappearing from our planet forever, and it's happening at an unprecedented rate. Scientists estimate that we're losing species at a rate 1,000 times higher than the natural extinction rate. That's like losing an entire library of books every single day. And the main culprit? You guessed it, human activities. Habitat destruction, climate change, pollution, overexploitation, these are just some of the factors driving the extinction crisis. And as we lose more and more species, we're not just losing beautiful creatures, we're disrupting entire ecosystems and putting our own survival at risk. We rely on biodiversity for everything from food and medicine to clean air and water. When we lose species, we're losing essential parts of the web of life. It's not too late to act though. We can support conservation efforts, reduce our impact on the environment, and spread awareness about the importance of biodiversity. Let's fight for a future where all species can thrive. Chapter 5, Ocean Acidification, the other CO. 2 problem. Get ready to dive into the ocean, because we're about to tackle ocean acidification. This is a serious problem that's often overshadowed by climate change, but it's just as important.
Here's the deal. As we pump more and more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, a significant portion of it gets absorbed by the ocean. And when CO2 dissolves in water, it forms carbonic acid, which increases the acidity of the ocean. Now, this might not sound like a big deal, but it's having a devastating impact on marine life. Shellfish, corals, and other creatures that rely on calcium carbonate to build their shells and skeletons are struggling to survive in increasingly acidic waters. Imagine trying to build a house out of bricks that are constantly dissolving. That's what it's like for these marine organisms.
And as the ocean becomes more acidic, it threatens entire ecosystems and the livelihoods of millions of people who depend on the ocean for food and income. We need to reduce our CO2 emissions, guys. That's the only way to slow down ocean acidification and protect our oceans. Let's be the generation that turns the tide on this global crisis. Chapter 6, Water Scarcity, the fight for every drop. Hold on to your water bottles because we're about to talk about water scarcity. Water is essential for life, but in many parts of the world, it's becoming increasingly scarce. Think about it. We need water to drink, to grow our food, to produce energy, and to support countless industries. But, as our population grows and the effects of climate change intensify, the demand for water is exceeding the supply in many regions. We're talking about droughts, water shortages, and conflicts over access to this precious resource. And it's not just a problem in developing countries. Even in places like California, we're seeing the impacts of water scarcity firsthand. We need to use water more efficiently, guys. That means reducing waste, adopting water-saving technologies, and supporting policies that promote sustainable water management. Every drop counts. Chapter 7, Soil Degradation, the ground beneath our feet. Let's get down to earth and talk about soil degradation. Soil is the foundation of agriculture, and without healthy soil, we can't grow the food we need to survive. But here's the problem. Intensive farming practices, deforestation, and unsustainable land management are degrading our soil at an alarming rate. We're talking about soil erosion, nutrient depletion, and contamination. Imagine trying to grow a garden in sand. That's what it's like to farm on degraded soil. It's less productive, more vulnerable to erosion, and requires more inputs like fertilizers and pesticides, which further degrade the soil. We need to protect our soil, guys. That means adopting sustainable farming practices such as crop rotation, cover cropping, and no-till farming. We also need to reduce deforestation and promote reforestation efforts. Let's give our soil the respect it deserves. Hold on to your hats because we're about to tackle a sensitive topic: overpopulation. Our planet has a finite amount of resources, and as our population continues to grow, the strain on those resources intensifies. Think about it. More people means more demand for food, water, energy, and space. It also means more pollution, more waste, and more pressure on ecosystems. Now, this isn't about blaming anyone or advocating for population control. It's about recognizing the challenges we face as a global community and finding sustainable solutions. We need to promote education, empower women, and provide access to family planning services. We also need to consume less, waste less, and find ways to live more sustainably. Let's work together to create a future where everyone can thrive. Get ready to dive into the world of garbage because we're talking about waste management. We produce an enormous amount of waste every single day, and it's becoming a major problem. Think about all the packaging, plastic bottles, food scraps, and electronic waste we generate. It all has to go somewhere, and unfortunately, a lot of it ends up in landfills, incinerators, or polluting our environment.
Landfills are filling up, incinerators release harmful pollutants into the air, and plastic waste is choking our oceans and harming marine life. It's a mess, guys. We need to reduce our waste, reuse what we can, and recycle everything else. We can also support companies that are committed to sustainable packaging and waste reduction. Let's clean up our act.
Get ready for a reality check, because we're talking about climate refugees. As the impacts of climate change intensify, more and more people are being forced to flee their homes due to extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and other environmental disasters. Imagine losing your home, your community, and your livelihood because of a changing climate. That's the reality for millions of people around the world. Climate refugees face immense challenges, including displacement, poverty, and social unrest. And as the number of climate refugees grows, it's becoming a global crisis. We need to address the root causes of climate change, provide assistance to those who have been displaced, and create a more just and equitable world for everyone. Let's show compassion and solidarity with those who are most affected by this global crisis. Wow, guys. We've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about some of the biggest environmental challenges facing our planet, from climate change to pollution to extinction. It can feel overwhelming, right? But here's the thing. We can't give up hope. We have the power to make a difference, guys. Every single one of us can take action to protect our planet. We can reduce our carbon footprint, conserve water, support sustainable practices, and make our voices heard on these critical issues. Let's channel our inner Mr. Beast and make the world a better place. Remember, we're all in this together.